Good morning everyone and welcome to this class. This is class 7th, subject Social Science, chapter number 9 of Civics, and the name of the chapter is A Shirt in the Market, in which we are going to study how does a shirt come there to the market, from the production of the cotton till the buying of a shirt. What is this journey basically? We are going to cover here, and this is our lecture number 1 of this chapter. So let's start the chapter and we'll see the topics that we are going to cover in today's lecture. So the topics to be discussed are a cotton farmer in Kurnool, then the cloth market of Erode, there in Tamil Nadu, then putting out system. What is this putting out system? How the weavers or the merchants they work there in putting out system will cover here. Number 4, weavers cooperative. In cooperatives basically different people, they all together they do the work with cooperation. So here we'll talk about the weavers cooperation. Weavers, the people those were making the clothes. Then homework. On the basis of these different topics, you will be getting some questions over there and you will do that homework there in the fair register. So let's start the topics one by one. Firstly, introduction of the chapter. As in previous chapter, we had done about the link of markets. So that is basically dependent. This a shirt in the market is basically linked with that particular topic, link of the markets. So let's see. We'll study the story of a shirt. Here 2 times it is written. So here we'll study a story of the shirt. Then it begins with the production of cotton and ends with the sale of the shirt. We'll study the chain of markets, links the producers of cotton to the buyer. Means here we are going to study the complete journey. How does a particular farmer who is growing cotton crop, that farmer is selling that crop to the traders, and then traders they are giving to different merchants, and merchants they are giving that particular cotton for the different mills for and getting yarns there, and with the help of yarns or thread you can say they are preparing the cotton cloth. So this complete journey we are talking about here. Then buying and selling takes place at every step of the chain, the chain of the markets that we are doing. So in every step, buying and selling activities they are going on. Whether we take the example of the farmer, definitely a farmer who grows the crop, they sell it to the trader, and trader they are buying that particular production or particular thing. So here the buying and selling they take place at every step of the chain. Now let's start the topics one by one. A cotton farmer in Kurnool. Here we are talking about a farmer who grows cotton and there in Kurnool. So story of Sapna. The farmer name is Sapna. She grows cotton on her fields. So the field that she has, she is growing the cotton in her field, and then after what she is doing, when the cotton is ripened, she collects pods of cotton. The pods means where the you can say the cotton that appear there in the plant, that are known as pods. So she collects pods of cotton from the cotton plant. Second step that she does. Then after collecting cotton, she takes it to the local trader instead of selling in cotton market. There are different reasons basically. What it is written here, she is going to sell that cotton that she has grown there on her field to the local trader instead of going to the cotton market. The reason, because she had already taken loan from that particular trader. So she has to pay the loan that she had taken for buying fertilizer, seeds. If you remember, in 6th standard also we had done that the farmers, they are bound to sell their particular crop to the particular trader, because they usually take loan from those traders at high interest rate. So they basically sell their production of any crop to that particular trader. So here also the same thing it is given, that she takes that particular production of cotton to local trader instead of selling there in the cotton market. Even the rates of cotton, that is really rate of the cotton is high in the cotton market than the local trader, but she has to give to the trader only. Clear? Because she has to pay the loan, and she knows that in future also if she she will be needing the money, so obviously she will go to the trader only. The reasons for selling to the local trader. Here the reasons, as I told you, the same will discuss here. Reason why does she sell that cotton to that local trader instead of the cotton market? First, Sapna had borrowed 2500 rupees from the trader at a very high interest rate to buy seeds, fertilizers and pesticides for cultivation. So for all these things, when she had to buy fertilizer, seeds, pesticides for the crop, she had borrowed money from that trader. That money amount was 2500 rupees and he gave at very high interest rate. Then the trader had an agreement with Sapna to sell her cotton to the trader instead of selling in the Kurnool cloth market. So that increment was made by trader whenever the crop it would be ripened. So she would be just selling to the trader only instead of going to the market, cloth market or the cotton market there. So these were the reasons for which she was selling the crop, or she was selling that cotton to the trader only. Next thing, the trader has taken the cotton at the rate of rupees 1500 per quintal. So total cotton is of 6000 rupees, but she gets the payment of 3000 rupees only. The reason, because she had to pay the borrowed money to the trader. So that remaining part of the money, the trader that has kept with himself as the interest rate and the particular amount that she had taken in the past. So this amount only, the 3000 rupees, even she asked for more money, because she explained that I have done a lot of hard work for that, but he denied for that. Even the rate of the cotton, there in the cotton market, there the people, they were getting 1800 per quintal. So rates are also low here. Now number 5, even Sapna knows that she can sell it for rupees 1800 per quintal, but she does not argue further because the trader is a powerful man in the village, and she knows that if in future she will be needing the money, so definitely she will be going to the trader. So that was the reason that she really does not argue with the trader. and she has taken whatever he has given to her. So this is the complete procedure how these farmers, they are bound to sell their crop to the particular trader. The condition of the farmer basically they are describing here, and describing how the farmers they are growing the cotton, and after growing how they are selling there to the different traders, or they are in the cotton market. The next step, this is just the production of cotton. From here the journey has been started. Which journey? The journey of the shirt that we have started today. Next is process from cotton to thread. First thing, trader sells the cotton at the Kurnool cotton market, some to the traders also. Then ginning mill buys the cotton from that market. Ginning mill that buys the cotton. And what does the ginning mill do? Ginning mill basically remove the seeds and pressed the cotton into bales, means they are making that cotton flat. For the step that they are doing, first step, they are removing the seed and they are pressing the cotton into bales. Then spinning mill buys the bales from ginning mill. Then spinning mills are there, they buy these bales or the flat cotton, you can say. Spinning will spin the cotton into yarn, and the next work that is done by spinning mill is they spin the cotton into yarn, or you can say in threads. Clear? Then spinning mill sells the yarn to yarn dealers. Then that yarn or thread that is to be sold to the dealers. This is the complete process from the cotton to thread, how the thread that comes from the cotton. Next is the cloth market of Erode. They are in Tamil Nadu. This is really very big market there in Tamil Nadu. So we'll discuss here about that market. The bi-weekly market of Erode in Tamil Nadu is one of the biggest cloth markets in the world. Bi-weekly means that is held twice a week. So bi-weekly market there in Erode, Tamil Nadu, and it is biggest cloth market in the world. Cloth made by different weavers from that area is brought for sale here, means different weavers the people those are making the cloth from thread. So cloth made by different weavers, they really bring the particular cloth that they have made in that particular market for selling. Then instructions about the cloth is given well in advance to the weavers, means the weavers those are getting different you can say the contract or different work from the merchants or traders. They have been given the instructions well in advance about the cloth, that you have to prepare a particular sari, or you have to prepare towels, everything. So instructions they are given well in advance to the weavers. The weavers get yarn from the merchants and supply them the cloth. Means the weavers they are just doing work, they are working as workers only. They are getting the material from merchant, and after making the cloth they are giving that cloth to the particular merchant and getting the money per cloth or per piece or whatever the criteria they are having. They are not in contact with any of the user or any of the person who is going to buy the particular cloth. They are just doing the work as worker for merchant. These merchants supply cloth to garment manufacturers and exporter. Then these merchants they get the complete task, the whatever the contract they had taken from the garment manufacturers or exporter. Exporters means the people who export the things to another parts or to another countries. So for exporters and garment manufacturers, basically they are giving contract to merchants, and then merchants, they are getting work from weavers. They just give the material to weavers and get the work done by them. This is the procedure. Then next is putting out system. What is this putting out system? Let's see. The putting out system is a means of subcontracting work. In putting out system, a central agent would pay material and then give them out to various people to work. Just like we have taken the example that the weavers, they are not using the material, they are just getting the material from the agent or from the merchants and giving them back the complete task, complete finished work, you can say. So here in putting out system, this is subcontracting work, means the contractor, they again give the contract to someone else. So in this putting out system, the central agent, or you can say the main agent, would buy material, like merchants, they buy the material, then they give them out to various people to work. And like we have just completed, these merchants, they give material to weavers and get the work done from them. This is putting out system. They just give the material, they just put the material and get the finished things. Then in this system, merchants distributes work among the weavers and he gives yarns to the weavers. The complete material merchants are giving to the weavers. Yeah. Then benefits for weavers. In this putting out system, what are the benefits for weavers? Let's see. The weavers do not have to spend their money on yarn for making cloth. So it saves money of weavers. First benefit means they do not have to pay, they do not have to spend any of the money for doing work, for starting any work. So they save their money there, the weavers. Okay, the second benefit, they do not have the problem of selling the finished cloth. After making the cloth, they give that material, that finished goods back to the merchants. So they do not have the problem that the particular cloth, how would they sell there in the market. So that is not the problem of weaver. These are the benefits of weaver. The first thing, they do not have to pay, they do not have to spend any money for that particular task. Second thing, they do not have the problem of selling the particular cloth. And after then, but they are totally dependent on the merchants. So dependency of weavers dependency on merchants there in the system, that merchants get more power because they have the power to whom they are going to give the material, from whom they are getting the work, to whom they are going to give the work. So this, the complete power that is in hand of merchant. They give the order for cloth and pay low prices. The whatever the work they are the merchant who is getting work from weavers, that merchant is paying very low prices for that cloth. Instead, he is selling that particular cloth at high rates to the traders or the manufacturers. So the benefits that merchants are getting, more benefits. Weavers do not know for whom they are making the cloth, means they are not in direct control of the people who are going to get that cloth. They are just mediator for making the cloth. Next, weavers do not know the price at which the trader would sell the cloth. That price also they do not know. that is we know that the merchants, they are just giving very low prices to the weavers, and they are getting more prices from the other people, or to whom they are going to sell. These weavers do not know the actual prices even, so they are totally dependent on the merchants. So in this system, there's two things you must remember: what are the benefits for the weavers, and how these weavers, they are totally dependent on the merchants. So let's move to the next topic, that is weavers cooperatives. As I told you, cooperatives means when the different people, they work all together with the cooperation. So here we are talking about the weavers cooperation, how they all together get the particular items, the raw material, they distribute the work among them, then they complete the task and sell that particular material. So that this is all done by the group of people, basically in cooperation. So weavers cooperative are the one of the way to reduce the dependency of merchants. This is one of the way by which they can reduce the dependency on merchants, because now in this system they are not going to get the raw material from merchant. They are arranging all the things themselves, and they are in direct contract of the people, those are going to get that cloth. Second thing, the weavers cooperatives, weavers make a group. In these cooperatives, weavers make a group and do certain activities collectively. Means some of the weavers, they all together make a group, then they divide the functions, they divide the activities done by those people. Clear? So and they collectively they perform the complete task. This is the cooperatives, weavers cooperative. They buy the yarn themselves and distribute the work among them. Yarn yarn means thread. So they buy thread and they distribute that particular raw material among all the people, distribute the task done by them. Then this is how the role of merchant is reduced here in weavers cooperative. Not only in weavers cooperative, in different like dairy, in dairy cooperatives also we heard many times dairy cooperatives are there, even fishing communities cooperatives are there. They also distribute the work among different people and get the work done themselves. In this way they reduce the dependency on merchants or traders. So this is how the different cooperatives are working there in the societies. So I hope that this all these topics that we have done in this particular lecture you have understood. Here in the book even one example of cooperative it is given. There in Tamil Nadu government. Tamil Nadu government runs a free school uniform program, and for that basically this government is getting the cloth from Power Loom Weavers Cooperative. This is the name of a cooperative, weavers cooperative, Power Loom Weavers Cooperative. So they are getting the cloth from these, and this particular cooperative, they make the that cloth themselves by arranging all the tasks them in among the people. So firstly we have done about the farmer there in Kurnool, Swapna. She grows the cotton and then she sells there to the local trader. After then the complete procedure we had covered there. Then we have done about the market, bi-weekly market there in Erode we have completed. And not only in cotton, we can take example of even farmers. Farmers are also what if the factory who is preparing bread. So they will the farmers, they are going to sell their production of wheat. Obviously they are to the traders or they are in the market. From there the different manufacturers like who is making bread. So they arrange the wheat from that market only. Clear? So different steps are there. Here also that steps are given. Swapna who is growing the cotton, she is not in direct contact of the different merchants or the weavers. she just sells the particular crop, cotton crop there in to the trader. From there, then we have taken the example of Erode market. Different weavers are there, merchants are there. Clear? So in this way we have completed today's lecture. We will be meeting for the further lecture with different other topics of the same chapter. Now it's time for homework. Do the following questions. Number 1. What made Sapna sell the cotton to the trader instead of selling it to the Kurnool cotton market? Clear? The reasons you have to explain here. Number 2. Write a short note on cloth market of Erode. Number 3. Define the term ginning mill. Ginning mill in the process from cotton to thread. We have done ginning mill, spinning mill. So you have to define this ginning mill. Then what is putting out system? What are the advantages of weavers in it? So you have to define the putting out system. Then what are the advantages the weavers have in this putting out system? So that's it for today. I hope that all the topics are clear to you. Thank you. Have a nice day.